Hello everyone, my name is Masha and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the materials I use to make friendship bracelets, and I'm also going to show you some really cool yarn that I got as a gift from Russia. So I get this question asked all the time: what materials do you use and where did you get them? And I don't know if you've seen, but I do have a separate video called A Beginner's Guide to Friendship Bracelets, and the link for it will be in the card and in the description down below. And in that video I do talk about a lot of different types of thread that you can use for friendship bracelets. So if you want just a general overview about thread types, you should head over there. There is also a bunch of other beginner information over in that video that I think would really be helpful to you guys if you are just starting out. But as for me personally, I in general typically use embroidery floss. I used to mostly use craft thread and craft cord, but for no particular reason, just sort of happened, I now mostly use embroidery floss. And I personally use a variety of different brands. I'm not really picky. I don't really care what brand I use. I have a bunch of different random brands from when I lived back in Russia, and I would just buy random embroidery floss. So I have a bunch of those. I also have some brands that I bought while I was in the US, and I got them in Michaels, and that includes DMC and other types of brands like Anchor and Prism. When I am in the UK, however, I usually mostly buy strings from Amazon, and the one that I'm currently using right now is of the brand Plie. There is no particular reason why I use those threads. It's just a absolute random purchase off Amazon. I was just literally scrolling through the app, saw these threads and thought it would be a cool purchase to get. So what I'm trying to say is that I personally don't really have a strong preference for a certain type of thread. So whenever I get this question of what I would recommend, there's nothing really to recommend. I just buy random embroidery floss and use it. I do think it's more of a personal preference, so it's up to you to find what you personally like. So if you are looking for materials for friendship bracelets, I suggest maybe going to a local craft store or a hobby store and actually physically feel out the threads that you want to get. Embroidery floss, craft thread, yarn even, which is what I'm going to be showing you in a second, all of these work for making friendship bracelets, so it is entirely up to you. There is no certain rule of what you should be using. But today I want to share something special with you guys. I have been on the hunt for these threads, this yarn, for a while now. I kept seeing these beautiful posts on Instagram with people using like shiny thread with little sparkles interlaced with them, or these cool, really multicolored threads that I've never seen before. I've been wanting to buy them for a while now. And after talking to some of these people, they all seem to reference this specific brand. And I haven't been able to find it in the UK anywhere, and that frustrates me so much because I don't have any link or anything at all to share with you guys today. Unfortunately, I also don't really have any alternatives, as I literally haven't found anything. However, I did a live on my Instagram recently where I did ask you guys if you'd still want to see these threads, even though I can't tell you where to buy them, and you overwhelmingly said that yes, you do want to see them. So if anybody out there sees these threads and knows of any alternative or anything that you can buy in the UK or in the US, do leave them in the comments. I'd love to see that. But I am sorry that I can't share anything myself. The way that I got them is I actually bought them in Russia, because in Russia they are prevalent anyway. You can literally just buy them online. So as you may or may not know, my husband and I have been long distance for nearly 2 years now, and he has just recently been able to move to London to live with me. And when he did that, he brought a bunch of thread, and also my parents came to visit and they also brought me a bunch of yarn. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. Before I get into it, I also just want to say that this is first impressions. I haven't actually tried it yet, so keep that in mind as I am speaking about these. Look at these beautiful, beautiful babies. They are absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so I want to talk about these, but as I said, these are first impressions. I don't actually know much about these threads. I've never used them before, so take whatever I say with a huge grain of salt. This brand of yarn is very commonly used in the Russian-speaking community. I keep seeing them over and over in posts. So if you are also part of that community and I say something stupid, don't judge me too hard, and leave a comment down in the description correcting me if I am wrong in something. But there are a couple of different sort of types of thread thread. They are all of the brand, in Russian we say ALIZE. I don't actually know how to say this in English, but this is the overall brand of all of these threads. This one specifically is Angora Gold. There are different ones. This one is Sal, this one is Diva, so they're a little bit different, each of them, and they feel and look a little bit different as well. So the Angora Gold, I got the Simile version, which has the sort of interlaced sparkly stuff. This one, in my opinion, is a little bit too fluffy. I do have to preface this by saying when I was buying these, I was buying them online. I didn't get to see them, I didn't get to feel them. I had no idea what I was buying until I actually received them. So if I were to look at this physically, I probably wouldn't have bought this because I feel like they are a little bit too fluffy. They have just a little bit too much fluff on all the sides. I don't know if the camera is receiving this well, but you can tell that there is a lot of fluff here going on. I feel like this would be really good for knitting, but not necessarily for making bracelets. I haven't actually tried it yet, as I said again, so I don't know. But the colors are incredibly beautiful. I have this one as well. It is amazing, and these are 500 meters, which is 547 yards, so they are super long, and I don't actually know if I'll be able to use them, but we shall see. These are a little bit thicker than the regular embroidery floss. So of this variety, I got the black, which is interlaced with sort of black sparkles as well. I have this beautiful sort of blue teal color, I guess. We've got this pink and this deep red, along with this white as well, which is also sparkly. Everything is sparkly because that is what I wanted. So next up we have the same brand again, but this is the Sal variety, and this is also the Simile, which means it's also sparkly. This one is much less fluffy. It is significantly less fluffy. The strands, in that one, the strands were all sort of fuzzy, I don't know, these ones aren't. The strands themselves are very separate from each other and they don't fuzz together. So this is, I feel like, gonna be better in making bracelets because it won't fuzz as much. However, you can really clearly see that the strands are much thicker than the usual embroidery floss. I don't know how much of a difference that will make in making bracelets. I have talked to a few people who have used these before and they say that yes, there is a clear difference, especially when you use embroidery floss and this type of thread together. There is a clear difference where this does stand out, but I don't know if that is necessarily a bad thing. Like, yeah, the knots will probably be a little bit thicker and this thread will stand out, but if it is a sparkly thread in your bracelet, it's going to stand out anyway. So I don't know if that's going to be a necessarily bad thing until I actually try it. So I have this beautiful pink. I have a variety of different pinks actually, but for some reason I arranged them a little bit weird. We've got this, I don't know, yellowish brown interlaced with gold, and I really enjoy that. We've got this beautiful gold as well, and then we've got this beautiful deep pink. I think that these four colors, this one, this one, this one, and the next one, which is a purple, would make for a really good color combination for like a chevron or something. So I might try that just on its own, so I don't have to mix it with embroidery floss. But I love these colors. They are so sparkly and so beautiful. It just gives me so much creative freedom. I can create so many different cute designs with these sparkly threads. I cannot wait to try them out. But then further down the line, we've got this sort of subtle pink as well, and then this bright red that is really not subtle at all. And then going off the other side, we have this grey, this absolutely crazy pink, which I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to be using, but I got it anyway. We've got this pink, which is very similar to this one. I don't know if the camera is really picking up the difference, but there is a slight difference in the tone of them. We've got this yellow, which is interlaced with sort of a pink and yellow shimmer. We've got a blue here, another grey, which is also a little bit different to that one, and then we've got a black here, which is interlaced with black sparkles. Now, I do have some other blacks because I know that I'm definitely going to be using sparkly black in a lot of these. So we've got this black, which is interlaced with black, and then this one, which is interlaced with silver. You can very clearly see that there is a difference. There is a very slight shimmer to this one, and this one is much brighter. I don't necessarily prefer one over the other. I feel like they both can accommodate very different types of bracelets, but they are both very beautiful in my opinion. I like this this one so much so I got a different one of it, the exact same one. I don't know if I'm ever gonna run out because they are all 500 meters as well. Actually, this one is 460, but nonetheless, they are giant. I don't know if I'm ever running out of them, but I got one anyway. And then I also have this beautiful one, which is probably my favorite. I don't know how well the camera is picking it up. I wanted to say hollow, but they're not actually. It sort of gives the impression of hollow because it does sort of look like a rainbow, but that's not because the metallics are hollow. It's because they are different colors, so it sort of looks like a rainbow because each individual one of them is a different color. So you can sort of see that it gives the impression of hollow, but it's not actually real hollow. Nonetheless, it is extremely beautiful, and I cannot wait to use this. Super excited. Other than that, I did also get these smaller multicolored strands. These are the Diva, and they are slightly smaller, so they are not 500 but 350 meters instead. However, still that is a giant strand. I have no idea if I'm ever running out of these, but we'll see, I guess. I got a bunch of different colors here. I've got this beautiful purple to green to yellow. You've got this one, which is sort of red to blue. This one, which is just sort of blue and teal, I guess that's what you call it. This one I think is incredibly beautiful as well. It's sort of like a rainbow, this one, isn't it? And then we also have this one, which is an earthly tone. Now these ones, they are much, much thinner. These are the thickness of pretty much regular embroidery floss, so I don't see any issues with these at all when I'm making bracelets, in terms of thickness at least. The only sort of issue that I can come up with is the fact that these, they change colors, but they might change colors a little bit too slowly for a friendship bracelet. Like when you're knitting, you're using a lot of string in the same sort of project, but for a friendship bracelet, you don't need as much string as you do in knitting. So the sort of color change might be a bit too slow for friendship bracelets. But I'm not too worried about that. I do still think that this would work well. I guess it's only up to me actually trying it to find out. Hey, so I actually started making a bracelet with one of these strings while I was editing the video, so I thought I would just insert this clip in as well. As you can see, I went with the purple yarn, which has the shiny stuff in it. And also, as you can see, the knots themselves don't look too different from the ones with the embroidery floss. So the white is the embroidery floss, the purple is the yarn that is new. And in terms of thickness, they really don't look that different at all. I don't see any issues with using this string to make friendship bracelets. It looks perfectly normal, and you can see the sparkles sort of peeping through on some of the knots. The only slight issue that I can tell is that it is a little bit fluffy, so you can maybe see in the video there is a little bit of fluff here and there, but honestly I don't mind. I really don't care about that, so it is something to keep in mind though if that is something that would bother you. So yeah, I'm very happy with this purchase. So there you guys have it. These are all of the threads that I managed to get from Russia. As I said, unfortunately I do not have any links for you guys where you can purchase these. If you do know of any alternatives, please leave them down in the description so we can all check them out as well. In any case, I do hope that you enjoyed today's video. Maybe you got inspired by something, or you just enjoy looking at pretty threads, I guess. My videos are made possible by the generous support of my Patreons, and I want to give a special shout out to my top supporters, who are Sunshine, Tia, Izzy and Lisa. And if you wish to do so, you can also become a Patreon and get exclusive perks. One of my Patreon tiers allows you to get a bracelet from me, and if you want to, you can request that I make a bracelet with one of these threads. So if you do want to become a patron, there is a link down in the description for you to do so. So thank you all for watching. I post videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and I will see you next time. Bye!